Hey, what's up, party people? Welcome to the Writer's Block Party Podcast. We are a podcast about creators being creative. We come up with a movie, TV show, or a product, and you get to tag along for the journey and the process. You've seen this week's guest on NBC's Last Comic Standing. In the studio this week, we have the very funny Nick Guerra. Stick around and check this out. Welcome to another episode of the Writer's Block Party Podcast. I'm your host, R.C. Cepeda. Today we have your co-host, Ali Nakvi.
Hi, that's me.
And the very, very funny Nick Guerra.
Oh, yeah.
Can you believe it?
Welcome,
Awesome.
Nick. How's your Sunday been?
It's fine.
Classic.
I woke up like an hour ago, maybe. I don't know, man. Honestly,
here 2 hours
walked the
ago.
dog, had some coffee, took some kratom. You know, doing
you
all
go.
right.
That's a lot of stuff to do in an hour, and then also drive here across Hollywood
took,
to like
took
get
some
here. Yeah, it's
iodine,
awesome.
you know, some vitamins.
There you go.
Yeah,
There you
man.
go.
Living that life, yeah.
Yep,
Well, speaking of vitamins, we do have our sponsor, Sunday Scaries. These are the vegan AF version, vegan as fuck. So Sunday Scaries are a remedy that makes anxiety not so scary.
See, when you silence the phones, nobody accounts for it falling on the floor.
Well, that's a wrap, everybody.
We are done. No, we have Sunday Scaries vegan AF. They are gummies for anxiety.
Really?
So if you ever have
Let me see
feel
this
free.
shit.
Have one.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
Oh,
But 10
it's
milligrams
CBD. It's
Yeah,
not
CBD.
CBD.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to go, man.
No
I take
THC.
CBD drops.
Oh, those are so good.
Yeah, man.
There you go.
They also have CBD drops, I believe.
They
Sunday
do.
Scaries.
They have
are,
drops.
yeah.
They have gummy bears
Which
also.
we'll be getting those soon because the beauty of
Got
these.
a nice little sour.
Yeah, they're
Right.
good.
Kick to it.
And they're vegan.
And the best part is that you can go online right now, like actually right now, if you want to, and type in the promo code WBP10 for Writer's Block Party for 10% off.
Yeah.
So pretty cool.
I've been recommending CBD to a lot of people,
good.
man.
It's great,
Well,
yeah.
yeah, because like my sister's friend who lives in Texas, he went to the doctor. He was having arthritis pains at a young age. Like he's like maybe 40 something right now, and the doctor said, "Look, I can prescribe you pills and this and that. It might destroy, it's not good,
Yeah.
or find somebody who has a weed connect." And so, yeah, that's what the doctor said. Find somebody and do that before you absolutely have to take these pills for arthritis, right? And they hit me up, and I explained to him. I was like, well, there's CBD, there's this, there's that. And he wanted some CBD, and he wanted something that might get him a little high. So I got him both. Pax Pen?
Yeah, Pax are great.
Yeah, yeah. And he told me, he's like, man, I said, give it a week, because you have to let it get into your system.
Let it get used to it.
Yeah, then you'll start feeling it. He started doing it, and he said a week later he was able to jump out of bed without feeling aches and stuff like that. And he's like, man, I usually am in so much pain jumping out. Now I can do stuff. I was like, well, there you go.
Yep.
It's because of CBD.
That's how you do
it's,
it.
It's very natural. It's
Well, it's the whole idea of like do it before you absolutely have to do the major pills,
yeah.
because the major pills are what
Who
kill
knows?
all of us.
Yeah,
man.
and like all the stuff that's put into that, like it's not good for you.
It ruins you.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, sorry.
So
That wasn't part of
check
the
it out.
pitch, though.
Actually, that's great.
So
It works.
go for the CBD
Yeah.
gummies. CBD gummies. Check it out. So Writer's Block Party Podcast. It's a podcast about creators being creative.
Yeah.
Part think tank, part improv, all bullshit.
Okay.
It's again it's a fun time.
Is that your Shark Tank pitch?
That is our show. Exactly. You can find that on our Instagram and all the things. But essentially, I will throw some ideas at you as far as first a platform for you to choose from, whether it's a movie, TV show, product, and then after you choose that platform, I will give you 3 titles, name, ideas, jumping off points.
Yeah.
You choose one that you like,
Yeah.
and then we kind of build our own adventure from there.
Oh,
And
okay.
it
how
can
we do
be
it.
as silly, as stupid, as serious, as dumb, as sad, as scary, as happy as you want it to be.
Okay, all right.
Also, none of these movies will get made, so we can say whatever we want about, we have unlimited budget here, and we can get whatever cast we want.
Okay,
so it's
all
like,
right,
we go
okay.
all the way.
All
We're
right.
gonna cast it. We're gonna do the whole deal, unless we pick product, and then we have to figure out who's selling, who's our face, who's our George Foreman.
Okay,
Right?
all
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
This
So-
is interesting.
Yeah. There's a lot of
You ready for it?
elements.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I was prepared for this.
Let's see how this goes.
Yeah.
All right, so movie, TV show, product. What are you thinking? And again, the product could be video game, comic book, amusement park, anything.
Anything.
Well, let's just do TV show.
TV show works.
Love it.
Right?
TV. We are in the age of TV. We really are.
Yes.
There's a lot of amazing things happening with TV. So with that, okay, TV show.
Okay.
So
All right.
let's see.
How long does an age last when it's the age of something?
Is it 100 years?
It's 100. I guess we're within 100 years. So you just included all of we are in the age of TV.
All of it. Since it was born.
Yeah, okay, I got you.
Okay.
All
It's
right.
even been 100 years.
All right.
100 years.
TV show. Let's see. Break a leg or two. 15 minutes of shame. Well, that doesn't sound good.
One more time. Can we hear them again?
All right.
Those
So
are the titles?
these are or jumping off points. These are the
Break
things
a leg or
to-
two, 15 minutes of shame.
Well, that
Well,
doesn't
that's
sound good.
Well, that doesn't sound good.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't sound. No, let's do break a leg or two.
All right. Break a leg or two.
That sounds like a jealousy kind of thing. Somebody's envious.
There's.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
Yeah.
right.
So
Yeah.
okay, you're thinking those things.
Okay.
What else is kind of popping up in your head?
Oh, toddlers and tiaras. So the
We
the
are on
idea
a
is,
roll.
Already there.
So the idea
is that it's beauty pageants, the kid beauty pageants, right? And this is the story of the moms who are trying their best to sabotage the other, parents' kids.
Mom sabotage.
Yeah.
Mom sabotage, man.
I like it.
All
I love
right,
that.
theme song is "Sabotage" by
Love
the
it.
Beastie
The Beastie
Boys.
Boys.
all right?
That's so good for the trailer and everything. Cody fucking marketing it. Love it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Totally.
man.
That's
Montage.
Montage.
Montage. There
We'll
you
have a
go.
bunch of
That was good.
montages too, just for fun.
Yeah.
Montages.
No, that's awesome. That's really good because then we can do so many different things with like how because they can't really hurt them, but they want to.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah.
No. They can just give them too much sugar.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
things
We're
like
They
that.
can't
I
handle
was
this. They
thinking
want
like one could hire like a hitman, but okay, I guess we
Well,
don't go
there
that
might
far.
be that one.
Well,
there's that one that
has
goes-
one that takes it too far.
But it's not a hitman as in a killer. It's a hitman as in I know how to get kids to throw tantrums.
Ooh, that's
So-
Like a
that's
kid
good.
whisperer.
Yeah, a kid whisperer.
whisperer.
So it's
Or
that
he's
kind of hitman.
Not deathly allergic to strawberries. Like he's only slightly allergic. She's from wherever she if it's that could be
good.
fun where it's like on the verge of we didn't kill him, but she's allergic to strawberries.
Yeah.
Did have that
Yeah.
Rice Krispie treat with
Yeah,
strawberries.
there you go.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
sugar thing's good
Well,
because
he
then they
goes
can't
in-
focus or anything. Yeah,
The
they can't do their
hitman
thing.
constantly keeps a file of kids that have chicken pox, so that he knows all right, you want Andrea to have a bad pageant? I'm gonna bring Mikey next to her.
I wonder
Oh, that's great. He's gonna have Mikey make
if
out
that
with her.
guy
Yeah.
lost that file. Like, what would that look like? Like a file of just kids? Like it's kind of.
Oh, that's pretty. Yeah,
kinda
maybe that's
creepy.
maybe that's
Well,
the point.
that's,
Yeah.
that's where he gets caught.
That's where he gets caught. Yeah. That's really good.
yeah, 'cause everyone's like, it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
He just has a file of kids.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
like,
And what they like and what they don't like. But this is great though because that happens in that world, right? Like in that actual world.
Yeah.
All that
oh, the
shit,
mamatage?
like, oh yeah,
Oh, yeah,
for sure.
man, definitely.
Like,
Yeah.
Mamatage is great.
Yeah, man, if you watch it, you see them go at each other. Like, well, you didn't fill out your form in time and this and that, and so it's like really aggressive.
Yeah, aggressive
Yeah,
way for sure.
and of course we're focusing on the mom. So this is a female-driven show.
Yeah.
All right.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love that.
It's right now it'll get made.
Do you ever see Drop Dead Gorgeous?
No.
It was this with the people in there like
Yes, the
teenagers.
pageants.
They're
Yeah,
pageants.
Oh, yeah,
But there was
And
like a
they kill somebody,
documentary
right?
style, yeah, and then somebody gets killed, and then it just
Denise
it
Richards.
escalates. Yes,
Denise
yes,
Richards.
yes.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was I love that movie. But yeah, this is kind of that feel, but like in the new age
Well,
with all
yeah.
these kids. Oh, and the kids is so good because then they're also maybe they have their own little sabotages going on.
of course, they
So
have
it's
to.
like
They have to, yeah.
Well, there's
all
that.
this,
There's
and then
like
there's-
that one that's really smart about it.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that documentary? I think it was called. I forgot what it was. They did a documentary where they had kids in kindergarten elect a president in China, which China doesn't have a democracy. So, they had to figure out how, and there was one kid that was like aggressive. Yeah, he was like, we're gonna make this kid look stupid, this and that. Like he was ready to go. I'm gonna pass out candy.
Wow.
Get everybody on my
definitely
side.
have that kind of character in this.
Yeah.
That's great. That's really good.
Montage.
Yeah, somebody that just knows the whole process of how, or just like somehow figures it out. That's pretty good.
So for TV show, are we thinking, how many runs? Are we thinking like, a few episodes, like a 6 episode?
Oh, it's getting canceled after episode 4. It's gonna get canceled, and just like Jay Moore's action, we're gonna shoot all the
I love it. Yeah. That's pretty good.
It's a deep cut.
Yeah.
I think I don't know how long of a run. Let's just say, 3 seasons for right now.
3
Well,
seasons,
cool.
maybe short seasons. We do like the overseas kind of thing where they do like 6 episode series instead of seasons, maybe.
Yeah.
So that you can hone in. Like the original Office was like 6 episodes, or Summer Heights High is like, you only get a few and that's it. That's what you get. You get 2 seasons of it, 3
we
seasons.
tease the people a little bit.
Yeah, and
man,
maybe
I
it's
don't wanna
different.
eat
Maybe
little
it's each season is different.
Well, it's different
cast and crew of people.
It's different sabotages, and then you go
Different
into the
people,
animal
yeah.
world. The
Yeah.
next one where it's
Or it's the one, maybe like there's one recurring.
like the dog shows.
dog shows,
That's pretty
the
good.
cat
good.
contest.
Maybe there's one kid that keeps trying to like is in all 3 seasons that she just keeps coming back as a different character,
The same one.
but like she just keeps coming back and you're like, that looks like the same girl, and they don't know that she's like an older girl that keeps
that's funny.
she keeps coming back.
That's funny. Also, there's the adult that looks like a child.
Sure, it'd be an adult,
okay,
but like she's a little older.
Oh, yeah,
she's
a
out of
little
the
older, but
limit
not-
of like,
yeah.
well, she's not a kid anymore. She's not supposed to be in the age
What's
group of like
driving
7,
her
8.
is that she like just wants to win. So
And
she's
she
like,
won't win.
will
She
do
keeps
whatever.
like,
Yeah, exactly.
in the background all the
yeah.
time. She gets like 2nd, 3rd place, and then she
Yeah.
comes back as a different person. And you're like,
Did
this
we
has to be the same girl.
Yeah,
there's a
what the fuck
scene-
is going on?
There's a
great.
scene where we see her holding up her crow's feet. So she's making sure to just like, no, we got to keep it tight.
Oh, that's so good. She has like an inner monologue with
Yeah.
herself. Keep it together.
Keep
Keep
it
it together,
together.
Lucy. God damn it. You're 7. You're 7.
So we could probably like, I love Mamatage, but maybe call it like Taj, and like
Taj.
have Mamatage, Dogatage.
Yeah.
What
The
other
different
Tages are there?
pageant shows. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. And so the
That's an
first,
idea.
yeah, and we can even do like the 3rd one is like really like beefy, husky like dudes, and
Muscular
they're doing
competitions?
their cars.
Oh, yeah.
They're showing their cars.
Time.
Because that's a thing,
Yeah.
Yeah,
car
yeah.
competitions where it's like, yeah, check out my
Why
ride.
do all these dudes have to be beefy?
I mean, what you know what I mean? Like, because the girl has
that's
to
how
still,
it is, bro.
Because the girl still has to
Alright.
make her way in somehow. So
Go
there's
touch.
just that one girl, the little girl that's like,
Yeah, and then the 4th season we lose everybody because we don't do pageants. We do different dentists in a plaza, like 2 competing dentists. But then that's the
good.
one that's critically acclaimed.
That's
That's the one where
season.
people are like, "Oh my God, they went really crazy with it."
I think the great thing about that though is like it really it stems down to like a natural thing that every single person has. Like you're saying right now, like 2 dentists, yeah, there's some competition.
Yeah.
There's some coming from a small town that we're all from, which we'll touch on in a bit. There is that happening. Whether
Yeah.
it's a dentist or a dog shop owner or whatever the case.
Yeah,
like,
man,
it's just a
barbecue
natural
plates,
thing.
bro.
Yeah.
totally. Or you see like, oh man, did you see their flyer? They did it in color.
Yeah.
God damn it. Now we have
We
to do
missed
ours
the
in
boat on that
color.
one.
Yeah.
Damn it.
We had ours first, but they were black
Yeah.
and white. God damn it.
And then they're trying to get the model for the right dentistry, and that's where your little girl adult
Oh,
comes
that's
in.
so
There's a good callback right there.
Yeah, she comes in really quick. This is very American Horror Story, but you know.
Yeah. I like
Funnier.
that. I like that. I like the same kind of like mentality of all the different people, and it's kind of similar, but it's obviously very different because the characters are all different. But you at least have that like dynamic of like, oh, these are all, and they live in the same world.
Yeah.
Like I love that about, I think like Michael Schur is doing it with like The Good Place exists in the same place as the Brooklyn Nine. Like
The
it's all in the
universe,
same world.
the
Yeah, in the
universe,
universe.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
like Sweetums is across a couple of shows and stuff like that. So I love that where you create a universe between across these things, but it's like none of it really makes sense together, but it kind of does. That's kinda-
should we
Yeah,
create-
well, it's as wild as the world is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
true,
yeah.
You know, man, the world's crazy,
Yeah,
and
true.
that's kind of the mission statement of this whole thing is that the one thing that everybody has in common is we are envious of somebody.
Yeah.
And we want to take them down. Nothing would make us. In everybody's life, there's one person that we would love to see fail.
And that's why Instagram.
You thought of sabotage real quick too. You were like just like sabotage.
Let's do it, man. Yeah.
That's why.
You know who you are.
Like, it'd be that's why like Instagram is what it is. Is like it really is all that. Like, you know, in my personal opinion, like. It's people just trying to show like, oh, I'm living the best life.
Yeah. And then they check on each other. They're like, okay, how many views did your video get? Okay, how many? Yeah, man. Yeah, that's what I hate, because I can tell that there's people that
fake it.
Oh no, that fake it, but also they're secret followers. They won't follow you, but they constantly check in on you. You know, like, okay, what's he doing? Yeah. And I actually got rid of quite a few because I would put posts on my live, on my story. Whereas, like, basically saying, I know you're watching. Well, this is like, go ahead and tell your little gossip and shaming them for it, you know?
This is a great part or a segue for us to get into this talking about you.
Oh, okay.
The
show's over?
Are you there?
No, we shoved the conversation in the middle.
Right?
So the
now they're like, what's going to happen?
So the fifth season is, of course, comedians sabotaging each other.
Hey, that's pretty good.
So we'll put in that of comedian sabotage. And let's talk about you, Nick.
How's about me, man?
You know, you've done a lot. You're here in LA. You're from our hometown, which is another reason, you know, great reason why we have you here.
956, down 281.
I still have a 956.
Yeah, all of us.
I saw that. Yeah, no, I got 214.
Oh,
what's
Dallas?
That?
Yeah, Dallas.
Nice.
Yeah, because I don't think they really had cell phones.
No, we had 210 back in the day.
Out.
It was 210.
Yeah,
back there.
Yeah. I thought that was San Antonio.
That's San Antonio was 210.
It was 210 in the Valley.
Yeah,
old school. Yeah, you don't have to fact check that. That's real. We had 210 numbers, and then they were like, the Valley's real big, guys. And they were like, we need our own numbers. And so they were
956. Let's do that. You know, Nick Guerra, you know, NBC's Last Comic Standing, Gabriel Iglesias, Stand Up Revolution. You've done so many awesome things. Seen, you know, your comedy. You're funny. You're funny.
Oh, thank you,
You're
man.
funny AF.
Funny dude.
Oh,
You're
thanks.
funny
I
AF.
try.
No, you really are.
How's
everything? How's what you're doing and where you're at?
How is
LA?
it?
Great. It's funny.
Yeah,
I think it's fun. I think it's really funny. Yeah. I mean, all the clips I've seen. How are we as a people?
How are we doing? Well, that's the thing, man. As an artist, you don't know how you're currently doing because you should be continuously doing, you know? So, I mean, I hope there's a point where I'm sure, like, Jay-Z knows, like, I'm successful. You know, but I think you have to get to that point where you're like, hey, I'm fine, where you have a catalog of work where you're like, okay, I'm doing stuff. I've been telling people I'm in that weird moment, like, okay, so having a creative career, especially with comedy, it's a marathon, right? So if you go to any marathon, the beginning of the marathon, people are clapping, they're cheering you, they're there, you know, so that's kind of like your first year, 2 years. And then all of a sudden there's this point in the marathon where there's no crowd anymore clapping and cheering. And you don't even know if you're on the right track, and you're just going down and running and this and that. And then hopefully you get to that place where it's like, you know, did all of my hard work pay off? And that is the end of the marathon where you start seeing the people coming back clapping again. You know, and I think I'm in that stretch where it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, you are. No, I honestly I really like what you've been doing lately.
Well,
like
yeah, man.
Your shit now is like,
it's been
because you can tell you're growing up as an artist as well, and your comedy has gone a long way from what you used to talk about to now. So it's like, and that's part of it.
Well, it's funny. People have always said that. It's my whole time doing stand-up, people are always like, oh my god, you got funnier, oh my god, your material's different, oh my god, this and that. And I was like, well, that's the point.
Yeah, it's the point.
Yeah.
Like, which is great.
It's
because there's a lot of comedians that just like, they find a thing they like and they stick to it, and that's what they do.
Well, they get too afraid.
Yeah.
See, the thing is that a lot of comics who get stuck in that realm, well, there's two reasons. Either they hit too early and they never were able to define another opinion.
Yeah.
So now the debate is, okay, do I switch and completely lose my audience that loves me, which is what Pryor and Carlin did. Because Pryor and Carlin were clean comics, impressionists and things like that. So they got tired of it and they switched. And Pryor lost all of his audience. Carlin lost most of it. You know what I'm saying? But then it started to build again, exactly, to who they were.
Yeah.
And I think, like, so there's those people that get stuck because it's like, if I switch my style, will I lose my money and potentially have to fire everybody because I don't have it, right? Which nowadays they don't want you doing that at all.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, your team will not want you to lose your audience.
Yeah.
Then there's the guys that they, like you said, they find something that works, but they never train themselves while they were developing to get out of that.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
To find something new about the
stuck.
same thing.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, because
branch
it's like,
off,
I'm too afraid to step out of my own box.
Yeah.
But that's why I tell people, I'm like, you know, so many people want to be discovered, but there's a handful of people that develop.
Yeah.
And it's like, you got to develop before you're discovered. Because once you're discovered, that's it. That's who you
You've
are.
established something, and that's what people know you as and everything.
In what you want.
Yeah,
to
well,
hear.
no, it's what people expect of you. It's the end.
Your typecast,
Like, once you're discovered, that's who they expect you to be. Unless, and it's going to take years for you to break out of that. It's kind of like Farley. You know, Farley was...
Love that guy.
Yeah, man.
Right.
So much.
And he was this close to finally breaking out. They were about to give him roles where it's like, I think, you know, like, if he would have lived long enough to do Shrek, that would have
been
taken him to a different thing, you know. But of course, he burned out because he couldn't, whatever.
Sustain.
Yeah, man. But it's
what
that,
was
that
expected.
fight of like everybody wanted him to do this.
Yeah.
He needed something to break out, and then you have The Rock. You know, The Rock is a completely different spectrum. Somebody that could have been completely pigeonholed and just had to wait for the right things to hit out.
Yeah, and they needed to be cool, and it was like, what? He's funny too?
Yeah, man.
Oh, man.
Yeah, exactly. Didn't he play a gay bodyguard too?
Yeah!
That's the whole thing,
like,
man.
come on, that was
and it's
perfect because it was so unexpected, and it was like, oh shit, this guy he's got range. That's what
He's not just
when
a
actors
wrestler,
are given the opportunity to show it, then it's like, oh, cool. Like,
yeah,
or
man.
anyone that's like
But
given
that's
the
the whole
opportunity.
thing, is that you always constantly have to test your own limits, creative-wise. That way, when you do get stuck, when someone wants to pigeonhole you, you already know how to get out of it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's kind of what I do. That's why you said my material's all over the place.
I love it.
Is because I don't want to be set in one way in people's minds.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, no, when you see me,
it could be anything.
it could be anything.
It could be anything.
I can
and
go
I love
off
that. I
on-
love that
yeah.
where it's like, I just click and I'm like, yeah, that's so funny.
Yeah.
I never
Yeah.
thought of that. And, you know, like, it's really good, dude.
Well, your views on things, like whether it's, you know, from relationships or just to life, are a great view that, again, it goes to what everyone feels and to what
But
everyone...
you put a nice spin on it.
But
I think
you're
it's really
putting a
funny,
voice
dude.
to it. I love that.
Yeah, man. Well, you know, I love testing myself on stage. The biggest thing is I love doing shows where I kind of see how long I can go off the cuff before getting into material.
Nice.
The
That's fun.
material is the safety net.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't like... Or the material's not even the safety net. The material's the fucking, all right, emergency. Let's get out of here. Let's go into material, improve, which I've had it happen before. I did a show in Salt Lake where I was just playing around, just doing stuff, right? And the audience was loving it, but I could see there was one guy who was kind of like not enjoying, you know? And I was like, what's that? What's up? He's like, well, I'm just kind of waiting for the material. I'm waiting for this. And I was like, oh, you want to see the set? Okay. And I took a step back, I introduced myself, and I started hammering the set. And I did about 15 minutes of my set, and then right at 15 minutes, I was like, see, I know how to do this. And then I went back to ad-libbing.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I was like, all right, so there's there.
Yeah,
Like,
now you're happy now? Okay.
yeah, you know, it's like, fine, let's move on.
I know. I mean, I've seen like when in some specials, like Russell Peters will do that way. I know you're here for the old school stuff. He'll do it as an encore or something like that, where it's like, you know, like some people want Jerry Seinfeld to be Jerry Seinfeld, you know, or whatever. So it's like, I totally get that. Or the same as like Adam McKay as a director for however long, pigeonholed, whatever you want to say, comedy. He's a comedy director. He's a comedy director. He's a comedy director. And then now when he's trying to do these dramatic things, people are like, it's not funny.
Yeah.
And when they're really funny. They're more funny than if somebody else that didn't have a comedic sense told those movies or like you know, those stories or whatever. So I think that's really cool. It's also like fun for those people to, or any artist to be like, cool, let's try something new.
If people are fans of you, they will enjoy it.
Exactly.
You know, and I'm in that weird realm where I don't like support. I want people to come see me because they're fans of what I'm gonna say. I don't want people to come see me because they're fans of me. It's like, don't come see me to applaud me. This isn't a pep rally.
Yeah. It's
I
not a
want you to come
celebrity
see what
thing.
the fuck I want to do.
my content.
Yeah.
No, I get
it's like music as well. Bands, a concert will happen. Fans will go there and say, "Oh, well, I just want to hear that one album."
Yeah.
But the band is like, "Well, we brought new material.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
fans
yeah.
of us. You like my voice. You like our sounds. Like, we want you to hear that."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Again, it goes back to being an artist. It goes back to a fan of the art.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
that stuff.
and that's what I want. And that's why I try to establish that voice of many thoughts, because in the end, I don't want people to come see me to hear whatever one general idea I usually do. It's like, no, come see me, not expecting it. You're just ready to jump in.
Just take whatever's coming. Yeah. And it's new stuff. It's stuff that's like fresh.
Man.
Why not?
And then we release Momatage.
I was just gonna say, in all these comedy shows that you've been a part of, have you ever tried to sabotage another comedian?
No.
Not yet.
But this character that we're creating right now, let's go.
Would I? Okay, so the way you sabotage a comedian, I'd be the guy to discuss.
Cut the mic, or you cut the cord.
Okay, faulty stool, first thing, right? That looks good. It looks like it's safe. And that'll be the first sign of like, this might go off the rail, right? Or loosen up the mic. Don't cut it off. Just loosen it enough.
There's some holes in the bottle.
Yeah, there you go.
When I take the
It all
water
just
sip,
spread.
goes all
Yeah,
over.
but then the thing that sucks is that he does that, and the crowd loves it. And so the guy that's like, he's like, fuck, man, that was supposed to go
the water
guy.
That would be a great episode of this guy who's like trying so fucking hard, like that girl who keeps trying hard to win this.
Yeah, to win it, yeah.
And everything he does, it just makes that comic look good.
Yep. But there are comics that do sabotage, man. They'll have the sound guy turn down the mic on their opening acts or whatever.
They'll give him like $20 or like,
Yeah, well, no, just like I've known, I can't name right now, but I've known headliners that will purposely have their openers lower and then have the sound guy turn it up on them so that it hits it harder.
Crazy.
Right? And then of course, there's the guys there are guys that's like, I'm gonna do fucking songs and this and that, and I'm going to just make it hard for anybody to follow. Yeah, there's guys that actually do that shit.
damn.
Yeah, and it sucks because it's like you hope that everybody is in the same team trying to do the same thing, get to the same place. No, they're not.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their own agendas and trying to get where they need to go.
Yeah, man, it's stupid.
Yeah, it's stupid.
It's just do your shit, man.
Yeah. Or you're concerned about anybody else, just do what you need to do, continue on. And be creative. If you're confident about what you're doing, you shouldn't be worried about what anybody else is doing. So if you're good as a car showman, then you wouldn't be worried about the other guy's car.
Yeah.
But how could we car sabotage too?
Carbotage.
Carbotage. Well, yeah, man.
And then we do a food one called carbotage.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, man. People think they're like, wait a minute.
Is that one like the Biggest Loser type thing where it's like?
No, it's the chef. Bake-off shows.
They keep putting carbs in their food.
That's funny.
It's like, it's gluten free.
You're
not gonna lose weight.
That's funny, man. Yeah, there's a lot to this. There's a lot of people that sabotage, man.
Now, like after this, however long it's been, like every single aspect of every single like career, job, all this stuff.
Competition
has
type,
has that.
And then we do a silly one, but narco
these are all
style.
super serious.
Where it's drug dealers, but it's hilarious.
And they call the cops on them over here. They do
Coppertage. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like it. That's good.
That's actually really, okay.
That's actually a really good idea.
I love where we're at. Let's try and go into casting as far as the first one that we're thinking about. That one lady, she's still sticking in my head. The one that like tries every single one. The dogatage, mamatage.
Oh.
What other little things that we can think of? Just to kind of.
Well, this will be
character.
okay. So we're gonna have to cast, and I'm sorry, guys, but I know you're gonna be against this. But that girl is Little Tay.
I don't know who Tay is.
You have no clue who Little Tay is? Okay, well he does. There we go. All right, so you know who Little
Jesse,
Tay
you know
is.
Little Tay is?
The Asian girl.
Yeah, there you go. Little Asian girl.
The
All right, let me show you.
Oh, I know who that is. Okay.
Yeah,
I
you know Little Tay.
I know
She's
that.
perfect
but
for that
yeah,
because we
yeah.
don't know what the fuck she is.
That's good. Okay.
And she's already got the attitude down.
That's great. Okay, I love it.
Yeah,
I trust
That's
you.
hitting
I trust
two
you.
things.
I
That's
trust
like
you. Yeah.
we got some like cultural we're integrating some.
Oh, she's already very competitive.
And then we got there we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's real. It's like real life.
Yeah.
Do you think she would if she saw this like on her desk, like she probably doesn't have a desk, on her phone, like hey, we want you to be this character. You think she'd?
I mean, she's a billionaire. She's got to have like 8 desks.
No, she's not a billionaire.
Oh, sorry.
That's the thing. It's her character. Her mother was a luxury home real estate agent. So when her mom would go to get the house ready, she would take her daughter and her son, and the son would record the daughter, little Tay, pretending that she was owning all these cars and stuff like that.
Like doing it at MTV Cribs with her.
Yeah, like, yo, I make so much money, isn't that? So it's a 10-year-old little girl that's like standing on people's luxury cars, like, I own this motherfucker. Like,
That's great. That's too good.
I think she'd be perfect.
Let's get her.
That's a perfect cast.
Yeah. It's
So
wild.
we could do her, and maybe what age group we could do, because we could do that girl that's like Catch Me Outside. We get her.
Oh yeah, okay.
She's
yeah.
Catch Me Outside from
she's
Mari.
always-
Was it
yeah.
Mari? I don't know.
No, it was Dr. Phil.
It was the girl that she's like a
Bad Barbie.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's her name.
Yeah,
Bad Barbie.
yeah.
Right. It's Danielle, I think is her name.
Sure.
So she.
Danielle Burgold.
Yeah. So she's perfect too.
Who are you? 29 years old over here.
So she's good too. Yeah,
that's good.
Because she's also one of those weird like. She's been 16 for 7 years.
Exactly. She's just stuck there. She's still 16. And I love that we just get a bunch of people that like around that age group that are maybe they're already assholes or shitbags.
Yeah.
We don't tell them. Don't hope they're not watching now, because we're gonna probably call them in a couple weeks and be like,
hey, we got a
really cool show. Yeah.
No, this is their. No, here's the thing, man. This is their breakoff
There it is.
point.
Yeah,
This
there you
is
go.
their moment.
That's
this
true.
is their
If they were-
Farley and Shrek. This is their rock in fucking Be Cool. Their moment to become
great.
something.
That's great.
Beyond themselves, you know?
That's pretty good. I
Yeah.
like it. We could catch her inside.
Yeah, catch her inside. Yep.
Inside our television show.
Yep.
We're done here.
So those are that. But now we have to have established.
Are they doing anything now? Like that's a question, right? Like,
Well,
are they, is this
fucking
current or is this
Danielle
a few years ago?
is a touring rapper.
Yeah, she's doing stuff. She's
doing stuff.
I mean, I don't know if
I
she's-
think is just a little girl again.
That's so crazy though. How
not
She's back to just being a
not
little
until we
girl.
break her and we make her
she's
a
back.
star.
She's back in school now.
Yeah, she's like, oh shit, this didn't
Recess
work.
is over and
Yeah.
she's back in school.
Yeah. And so
it's
then
like,
we
it's
start
a
bringing
very
in-
Rachel Dolezal kind of thing too, where it's like, or what's that, Dolezal, whatever her name is.
I forget it.
Rachel
Dude,
Dolezal,
I've never been able to say her name properly.
You know what I'm talking about? The one where she pretended like she was a black lady for like years and years and years. Oh my god, dude! You need to read some news, bro.
You gotta see the documentary.
I'm so out of
You
touch
gotta
with
read
this
the
shit.
news.
Go on paper.
Bro, you gotta see the Rachel divide.
I'm gonna write that down. Rachel
It's
Divide.
wild, dude. No, she
It's
like basically
wild.
for a long time she was like in charge of like NAACP part.
Yeah,
part
she
of
got up to
NAACP.
one of the heads.
Yeah, and so she was like
Of
running
her
it,
place.
and
Yeah.
wherever she was, and so but the whole time it's actually a white lady in blackface, like every day, curly ass hair, going to school
Actually,
every day
Well,
for years.
yeah, man.
Wild.
Yeah.
are you? Wow.
Wild. So basically, it's like that's a part of this. Is like some
That's
people
life.
just
That's
they
happening.
gotta
That's
they
fucking-
gotta do things to.
Dude, I'll tell you a crazy. There's this documentary called "The Woman That Wasn't There," right? And it's about this lady who pretty much the same thing. Or she was the lead of like 9/11 organizations because her husband had died, and which one, right? Her husband had died, and then she had this whole story and this and that, and she got to the top to the point where like, if anybody else tried to rise above her, she would start saying, "I don't think his story is real." Thing is, hers was completely made up.
God, that is
She got to the head of these
wild.
organizations and was actually sabotaging real victims because they were about to get more popular than her. You know, and it's
Call
like,
it sabotage because it's sad. That's
yeah,
weird.
man, it's wild, man, when you see it, because it was all she did it for no money.
Yeah.
She got nothing.
That's
It was just
fucking
all
crazy.
attention.
It's
She
a
just
show.
wanted attention.
Wow.
That's it. You know, she didn't want any profit from it at all.
This TV show that we're creating is actually really fucking good because there's a lot of fucked up people.
There's a lot
doing
of
fucked up shit.
Yeah, real things we can
This
pull
is
from and like
fucking-
yeah.
Oh, yeah, man, it's wild.
yeah.
Have you seen the documentary? I love documentaries. Called Finders Keepers, right?
Oh, yeah.
You saw it, right? So there's that aspect. There's that different
Is that
sabotage.
the one that
The grill and the foot.
Okay, no.
So the whole thing is this. You know that the storage wars kind
Yeah.
of thing? All right. So, I mean, those are people that really do that shit, which is another kind of sabotage, storage wars.
Season 6.
So this guy bought this storage unit that, you know, the owner didn't pay off, and he wanted everything in there. And in there was a grill, and inside of the grill was a human foot, right? A real human foot, yeah. But the guy that was renting the storage unit, he was like, "That's my foot." Like, it was his foot.
What?
Yeah, it's a wild story. And so the guy that won the unit was like, "Well,
I own the foot.
I own the foot."
It's my foot now.
Yeah, and he wanted to make it an attraction and this and that.
Oh
Dude,
my
it's-
god.
That's so
That's
crazy.
so weird.
It's weird, right?
That's so weird.
Yeah.
People are weird.
People are
So what is the
fucking crazy.
tone of this show? Is it like mockumentary style, or is it like a?
That's what I was wondering,
Like
man.
a
I'm trying to
real
think.
kind of, we're just in it and we're seeing all these things happen, like narrative style. Like what?
You know what? I kind of don't
Like
want it to
tongue-in-cheek
be.
or arm and foot.
I don't want it to be mockumentary.
Okay. No, it's fine. I mean, I'm
Like,
just wondering. Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have
maybe
no-
a little bit more like Curb.
Love it. Just reality, based in reality.
Yeah,
like
because I'm kind of.
shaky cam. We're just with
Exactly.
them in the real.
Yeah,
We're
just
seeing
in the
all the
real.
real shit. Yeah.
Yeah,
I love it.
because
like
I
that.
mean, mockumentary would obviously be the easy way to go in the sense of like, you know, it's so easy to have the characters just and
Do
this
little-
is how
yeah,
I
yeah,
felt
yeah,
for
yeah,
this
yeah.
and that. But I kind of like,
it's like all these dark moments of them in the mirror, just like
yeah,
killing
exactly.
it. You're killing it.
Yeah, because there'd be
Or
nothing.
she's putting on the black face.
Yeah.
She's so
Yeah,
serious about it.
yeah,
I'm so
man.
pretty.
Yeah, maybe more Curb, more
That's
Louis.
good. Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah. I
know,
like it. Yeah.
where it can get a little absurd, but it's
Yes,
based in
I love it.
reality.
Yes. Based in.
I can't get that foot thing out of my head.
Finders keepers, not the finders. Finders keepers.
Mine has been blown in these past
Yeah.
35 minutes. This is crazy.
You
Yeah,
gotta read the
man.
news, yo.
Yeah, bro.
And I should.
Dude, you want me to tell you more documentaries to watch?
Feel free.
Have you ever seen Overnight?
Watch Overnight.
No.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. So it's the guy that basically wrote and directed Boondock Saints,
Okay.
and you watch his rise to where it
Mental
gets
breakdown.
discovered
Yeah.
to his fall.
And,
like, bro, he falls
He
hard.
bottoms out.
Really?
Dude, it's like, oh my god, this guy was having meetings with fucking Mark Wahlberg and
Like
A-listers,
this.
and like just, and it was all him.
Yeah.
He
happened? What?
fucking
It's just,
crashed and burned.
You should check it out. That
Yeah.
one's wild.
Wow.
And then there's
That's
one called
just the
uh,
breakdown of a person.
dude, it's
wild.
Wow.
It's a
Yeah.
guy that let Hollywood get to him before Hollywood got to him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
First movie, right?
First movie.
That's it.
Yeah.
It was his first movie.
So, and then there's another one called An Audience of One. Right? So, An Audience of One is about a pastor who has these visions that come to him from God. And one of the visions at one moment, he has like a congregation of like 22 people. It's not even that big, right? His dad or his mom was actually the real pastor, and she had to kind of retire. So she gave her son like, okay, you can have my congregation. So his big vision is God wants me to make a Hollywood film. And he does it in the most expensive and ridiculous way. And it's another crash and burn. 'Cause-
I
and
love
he's trying to
it.
convince like his followers, which they're all for it. Because they're like, this is our... Yeah.
What's the movie? Does he make the movie?
No, I don't
He
want. I don't want.
made-
Don't spoil it. I don't want to watch this.
Yeah.
An audience of one.
I don't want to watch
So
it.
wildest, like you just...
I
I
don't
love
have
watching
something
the crash and burn fucking documentaries where it's like,
Yeah, yeah.
bro, I can't believe you
Like the
did
Fire
that.
Festival
Fire
ones.
Fest.
Yeah.
Oh my
yeah.
god, those were so funny.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
So, do you think we could do a spin-off documentary or documentary off the TV show to get more interest, to get people
Like a web only.
yeah. Why
Yeah.
not?
Well, maybe
More for
that-
marketing
Let's,
sake.
let's
Yeah.
think of one. We still have you have a few more minutes. Oh, considering that all of what we've discussed in these past few
Yeah.
minutes, we should create the craziest character to do something crazy as fuck. Like having a woman literally like in a mirror putting on blackface. Like that's
I think it's a series of crazy characters doing crazy
That-
things,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so it's like basically just seeing behind and underneath
Yeah.
all of the people's darkest, deepest.
one.
Well, we're following the most envious of the pack.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
You know,
good.
we're
I like
following
that.
the
They're
one
the
that
focus
wants
of
the
that's
top.
good. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
One thing I've thought about lately that I've been wanting to bring into the show. Actually, this is honestly the I haven't done it yet. This is the best episode to do it with. Is I live in Hollywood. I walk the Hollywood stars, and I see a bunch of these, the people in these costumes.
Oh yeah, man.
You don't see their face. I've always wondered, like, who's behind that? Who put, like, they're waking up, like, like, okay, I'm going to be Minnie Mouse today, like...
You've never
they're
seen the
doing this.
documentaries about these people?
No, if there's one...
Yeah, man. There's like 3 of them, bro.
Shit.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to think of them. Like
Yeah.
they interview, dude. They sabotage
Superman?
each other.
Yeah.
They fucking have
Well,
rules.
they
They get each other's
sure,
faces.
right? Like this is my section. This
and
is my
also
street.
like the guy Superman.
Superman.
Like there's because this is the one that there's a few of, but there's one specifically
He's
about
like
him.
famous
He
Superman.
patrols. Like he even like
he is Superman.
he'll tell people, he's like, hey, you're dressed as Spider-Man. Don't be smoking. We can't have you walking around
And he'll,
smoking.
like-
These
and-
kids might see Spider-Man
And then
smoking.
he'll be like, "I'm Superman, thank you."
Yeah.
And he'll leave.
yeah,
No,
man.
seriously, he's
Holy
he's
shit.
a patrol, and then
Batman has an anger problem. The guy, yeah, bro, it's
and
wild.
then a couple years ago, Superman got fucked hard.
Yeah.
They like robbed him.
Like on the street.
Yeah, they robbed him, and he had
Yeah.
like all pretty much everything, like his laptop and his whole like everything he made his livelihood with. Even his costume was stolen, and he had to like did a whole GoFundMe and a whole thing on. Yeah,
man.
it was wild.
So
Like, they have a whole counterculture of these people.
Yeah.
It's and you know
Okay,
they make,
well,
hey,
there's-
they make money.
Well, then never mind. My idea was not going to
No,
work.
but they do. They sabotage.
yeah, they sabotage. There's like a documentary where there's one where they discuss them all, where the other side work is extra work. There's extras. That's a documentary. Then there's like fucking character actors. There's some wild documentaries out
Is
there.
there a voiceover documentary about voiceover?
Yeah.
So it's just called
Yeah, man,
sabotage.
I've seen it.
And we just every season we pick somebody that is on the deep path of like sabotaging everybody around them to get where they
Yeah,
need to be.
and
I
then
love
the
it.
10th season is the Trump presidency.
And we build
The
towards
biggest
that would be
sabotage
The biggest
ever.
sabotage ever, where he
Holy
just needed to
shit.
get everybody that was taking money from him off his back. So he won the election in order to get all their dirty laundry out,
Yes.
and he couldn't be. A sitting president couldn't be, so he's like, finally, I got all these leeches off him.
Cleared all his debt.
Yeah.
Cleared all the
Everything.
leeches, got them
Everything.
all in trouble.
I can already see it. Trumpetage.
Trumpetize. That'll be the final season.
'Cause where do you go from there? That's the biggest sabotage ever.
And then we get white hats with red letters. We flip it.
Yeah, man. There you go.
I think he has those too. I think he has that too.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You think he
actually, he
does?
does
Yeah,
have
he
white
does.
hat MAGA hats, which are kind of the disguised ones, where somebody who does want to show they're a Trump supporter but doesn't want to show they're a Trump supporter.
Because now, like, I'm sure Fred Durst has to be like, no, it's not. And he's turning back around.
It says
He's doing,
It's Nookie on
he's
it.
doing a jazz night, man.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
That's
he's
awesome.
totally-
Is that
Actually,
true?
Yeah,
Oh,
somewhere around here.
Let's
Dirty
go.
Laundry, I
Let's
think,
go.
is
Let's
right
go.
here.
We have to
Yeah.
go see Fred Durst do jazz.
on
Are
the
you
Wed-
kidding me?
Thursday nights.
I'm jazzed.
Thursday nights. Yeah.
I think he just hosts it. I don't know if he jazzes it
He-
up.
I know-
He might. I'm sure he
I
probably
know
like,
he's there. I know he's there.
bring it
Yeah.
on.
what?
The fuck
Oh, let's be honest though. That his first hit was pretty fucking awesome.
Yo, Limp
And he
Bizkit
had
killed
some-
it.
hey,
Well,
which
bro,
wasn't
and we're
even
from the
his.
Valley. That was perfect
was
for the
it.
Nuggets.
Yeah.
That was spring break, South Padre.
You want to break stuff? You have to break stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
You know what? Nothing else to do. You just
Earlier,
We didn't know better.
We were talking about Carthage. I remember being in the Valley, and on Thursday nights at the Barnes & Noble right there on, what is it, Nolana? 10th
Yeah,
and
man.
Nolana. They'd be there, like, all the cars would
Yeah,
show
man.
up. All the,
And then they did the fucking
the races. or
driving
whatever.
up and down
Yeah.
10. Yeah,
Cruising.
man,
They were cruising.
Yep,
They
I
were
remember
cruising.
cruising, and then you'd hang out the way. It was so cool. You just
in
keep
front of a
going back
Barnes and
forth.
Noble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go inside, read a book.
When you go down that street now, you're like, this is the big
Yeah.
night that we had.
Across from House of China.
yeah. Home of John's son. Son of John's son.
The next guest we have actually was on the radio station for the in McAllen, Texas.
Yeah.
So this is like a good RGV shout out.
Bro, when I was on the Tonight Show, man, I did 5 is number 1.
I remember that.
And only a few people caught it. I was like,
That's amazing. How was that experience? Like,
that was great, man.
in the behind the scenes, if you don't mind me asking, like the behind the scenes, like just from someone from the RGV that's never been in that
It's wild.
light.
It's fucking wild.
I'm more curious. Like, do you have to tell them what you're going to be doing, or
Of
they
course.
let you? Okay.
Yeah, no, you got to, man.
And so
do you
everything
do a
is
set for them
everything
before?
goes through
Scripted
lawyers.
and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they had Jimmy had done started doing a few. He had a week here in Hollywood, and I know the booking, the guy that books the comedians. I've known him for a bit, because I used to work with comics that he worked with on Chelsea Lately. Then he moved over to booking Tonight Show, so he knew me, right? And then I won the Stand Up NBC, which he was one of the judges for, and this and that. So he saw me perform in different areas, and I think he's like, I want to get Nick on. So yeah, they were here, and I guess in the end, it's kind of like this. When you write out my jokes, they don't hit as hard because I'm not written funny. Like
That's your delivery.
It's delivery.
It's definitely your delivery.
Everything.
Your tone, it's the way.
It's like listen to the context.
And then your laugh, man, is so infectious, dude.
It's so
It's
dumb.
so fucking
So I'm a comic, like I'm not like a comedic writer in the sense of like, this is the pun, this is the setup, and it's like, no, I'm going to talk about this funny topic.
Yeah.
So he knew they had to come see me live, and when they did the audition here, I was on it. I was the least famous one in the audition, and of course it was like, all right, just go out there and kill it. And he's like, just give me a good tape so I can start the discussion. Because all I need is them buzzing about you. And so that's what I did. And then he got the approval, and that's when it's like, okay, now let's work on the set you're going to do. And then we worked on it, submitted it, got it all approved. They took out a...
It's really cool.
It's wild, man, yeah. And the reason that I got on was because Robert De Niro agreed to do an interview.
Yeah?
Yeah, so they were like, we have a big enough A-lister, we can introduce a new comic.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
That's a...
Oh, yeah. De Niro.
Yeah.
Oh, it was wild, man. Yeah, I saw him walk past my green room. I was like, he just comes in all by himself with his little bag with his little toiletries, toothbrush, and stuff like that.
He would do that, right?
Yeah, well, because he never does interviews. Yeah, he doesn't care to do them. Like,
wow.
Yeah, so...
I never thought about that.
Yeah, well, man, honestly, those actors, like, it's funny as I tell people, I'm like, really, actors are boring. They're fucking, if you're not telling them what to do, they're boring as shit. So they're not good at interviews. And the top actors just kind
I don't know what to do. Like,
if
I'm not
especially
given
kind of
told
old school
what to
actors,
do,
especially a little bit
Especially
more.
well, because they still believe in the whole, like, nah, I only stick to movies. The rest is shit, right?
Yeah.
Although they've dipped into it here and there. But old school actors are definitely, I'm just an actor. I'm not out here to do anything else. I'm not Will Smith. I'm not going to go... Hey, what's up, skydiving?
Yeah, exactly.
And if you really listen to most actors' interviews, whether it's like Leo or fucking De Niro or fucking Jake Gyllenhaal or any of that, they really don't say much.
No, the most entertaining ones are always the comedians because they're comedians first, or The Rock because he's The Rock. He's funny.
Yeah.
He's
he's an entertainer.
He's a wrestler. He's a natural entertainer. That's like the number one.
Though,
yeah, totally.
That's the word right there.
He's an entertainer. Before anything
Yeah.
else, he was always like, that's true. Like,
And they usually have boring ass stories anyway. We just laugh because it's them, But they're like, oh yeah, I went to Starbucks and I had to stand in line. Like, okay. Like,
You go to Starbucks?
That happens to you too?
that's how it's good to because it's like, oh, and I do that.
which I hate. I hate that fucking part of the entertainment culture where people are like, like Jennifer Garner after the Oscars goes and has a burger and everyone goes crazy. It's like,
Duh.
people have burgers in America. Like, how is that so different? What do you think they fucking eat? Swan? So anyway.
So, I do have a question. The long hair and the cutting. Can I ask
man.
that? Is that too much to ask? Is that too personal?
I just cut it.
Yeah, just because.
That's it.
That's cool.
There's no story behind it.
That's cool. I mean,
The long hair was because I didn't want to pay for a haircut. Yeah,
you're
and it just happened overnight.
I have no hair, and I got this yesterday, and I went 2 weeks ago. Like, I have no hair, and I still
Yeah,
have
but I was a
fucking
broke
lose.
comic, man. I can't be getting a haircut every
It's
2
expensive,
weeks.
man.
Yeah.
I tried it myself, and then I fucked up my hair, and I was like, oh, shit, I have to work today.
How? The audience would like to know how the hell you fucked up shaving your
Because
own
I
head.
tried to fade my hair.
No,
Just
shave it.
That's why I did this. I have no hair, I know.
Yeah. Oh, I thought this was a thing.
Yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Yesterday.
All right.
Normally there's more here.
He's going for a prison thing.
It's very DJ Khaled.
Oh, it is.
It's the
Hey,
beard.
yeah, that's true. Cool.
DJ Khaled.
Yeah, but the hair, like, it's funny because I guess it did become a thing. But okay, here's the real reason I
You do
cut
use
it.
it in your bits, which is great. Yeah.
I cut it because I wanted a haircut, and also I was starting to do corporate gigs, headlining more shows, and the problem is that I have a very young face, right? So when I was doing corporate gigs or headlining shows, more often than not, I was stuck with comics that may have looked a little older than me, or comics that were older than me, and all they did was material about being old men. Yeah. So I had to signal to the audience in a way like, I'm not a kid that's just fucking around up here. I am the comic of the night, and I am responsible. And so that's why the suit came in. Is like I had to show them that I'm not a slacker comic. Because I even was told by some club owners when I cut the hair and started wearing the suit, they were like, yeah, we thought you were going to just be some stoner comic, you know, coming up here like, oh, I don't know what to do, bro, you know. And they were surprised that I was an actual, you know, like I had material. And so it was that. It was like I had to fight the stereotype of
The way you looked.
T-shirt hoodie comic.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
now
I mean,
I'm wearing.
That's
you know?
fine. But you're on a couch. You're hanging out.
Yeah,
you're
man. And
standing
I
on
was
a
doing
stage with
like
the light
I was
on
doing
you.
cruise ships, you know,
Yeah.
and the average age on a cruise ship is like 72. If I went up on stage like this, they can be dressed however they want, but they won't respect me. So it's like I need to show them I'm something to be respected.
Yeah. You're a
I am the
performer.
show.
You're here to see me.
Exactly.
This is why you should stick around and keep watching.
Yeah, and that's kind of it. It's
That's
like
good.
signaling to him, like, no, I'm the guy. And I also, in the sense of like dressing up, signals to everyone in the audience, I'm classy, I'm ready to go, and I'm better dressed than all of you.
Yeah.
So I am on top in every don't interrupt the show kind of shit. You know?
It did suit you.
Oh,
yeah.
God
Yeah, there you go.
damn
There you
it.
go, man.
Oh, God damn it.
And then I just like the short hair. I was fine with it. Like, actually, I was thinking about cutting it probably a year before I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, all right, maybe. I kept talking to my manager, who I don't have anymore. Maybe I should just cut there because I was getting a lot of auditions. And I was just like, let's just do it. And he's like, oh, no, keep it. And I should just cut it earlier. You know, I was like, nah. Thank you.
That does look good.
Yeah.
I totally understand that. Like, you want not necessarily look older, but that you look inexperienced.
Yeah,
or
man.
The idea of like, oh, look, these guys look well put together, even if they're schlubby or yeah, exactly.
Well, that's it, man. Well, you know, everyone's judgmental.
Yeah.
Everyone is judgmental, but
Even
you
if
have
they
to
don't
be
know
as
it.
a human.
Yeah.
You know, because in our animal part of our brain, we have to assess if somebody's a danger, a threat, or this and that. So I knew since I've dealt with it since I started having a young face. Like, I would have audience members come up to me after the show and be like, man, when you first got up there, we thought you were just going to be bullshit, this and that. Still today, some of them say it, right? We didn't think you were going to be funny, blah, blah, blah. And literally, they had 10 negative thoughts about me before I even said hello.
Yeah. And then instantly changed when you started talking.
When I started talking.
Yeah.
But that's how the human brain works, is that they will look at somebody and just
and
try to assess.
already judge that person.
Yeah.
Or at least have a preconceived notion of
Yeah.
what you think this person is from everything you've experienced in your life. Yeah.
Exactly. And especially since you're on stage, you're the one that's magnified, you're the one that's lit, everyone is dark.
Attention's all on you. Right?
Yeah, so now
Everybody's
it's
trying
really
to sabotage you.
essentially, yes, because in the end, if you're not famous, everyone's skeptical of who you are and why you're up here.
Yeah.
You know, it's very American to be like, oh, this guy thinks he's good. Like, crossed arms is...
Oh, he's got long hair? Okay. let's
Exactly,
see it.
man.
Right.
You know,
What's this guy about?
It's like, did you see The Dirt? The movie
No,
The
not
Dirt?
yet. But we talked about
Well, you saw it, right?
I saw it.
So you saw their first gig.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's how it is. The first time you get on stage,
Nobody
there's
knows.
somebody in there who's like, fuck this
Who
guy.
the fuck are you?
Yeah. You know?
The movie itself. But
yeah, that's fine.
the story.
No, didn't Tremaine?
Tremaine.
Yeah, he directed it.
Yeah.
Fucking jackass, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
There were some positive aspects to it, but all that aside, you're 100% right. Those were the parts of the movie I actually enjoyed, were like the little tidbits of things that I'm like, I'm not a Motley Crue fan, but at least we
Now we know.
kind of get some things about it.
Now we know.
Yeah.
Yes, and the thoughts that are in my head is I was in a band, that happened, right? We would go on stage. But really, for the artistry, in my personal opinion, is we saw it as if they don't like it, like it's a practice. Like this is just
Well, yeah.
through this. But there it does suck.
But you're in a band.
That happens.
It's not just
You're with
you.
4 other people.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
I was...
Being up there,
They're not going to look at you and be like, yeah, that bassist sucks.
And then the thing
that
is,
bassist
like...
really bringing this whole band down.
Yeah.
That's true.
And they can drink and have conversation, during your stuff.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like big introductions when I go on stage, because I tell the host, I'm like, don't introduce me large, this guy's been on this and this and that. And it's like, because all it does is make
Sets
people
up
go,
expectations.
oh really?
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah? Well, who? That. It's like, just fucking one credit and then bring me up. I'll get them to where I need them to be.
Yeah.
But it's that. It's that, like, when you're the sole person and you know
one light on you.
Yeah, you're gonna have to listen to me for 45 minutes. You have to set a standard with them. Like, this is why you're listening to me for 45 minutes to an hour.
It's a long time too, man.
Yeah, man. It's all right, let's do it. You know. And I film every show, and it's funny to see when audiences at what point they let go. And some audiences, I remember I did a show in Philly where 15 minutes into my set was when they finally started enjoying the show. You know. And it was like, fuck. And then some of them, it's 2 minutes in. And then some of it's just, but I could see myself like, okay, let me just keep fucking.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'll just hammer it for 15 minutes to force them all to be like, okay, this.
Be on my side. Be on my side.
Well, you have to defeat all of their what they believe your punchline's going to be. Because they're trying to figure it out. People are puzzling, you know, or they're trying to figure out the puzzle. So they're trying to get your punchline before you. So if you hammer them, they might get the first one. Maybe the second one. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, they're like, they have to let go and just listen, you know? And that's why I hammer.
You just keep going fast.
It's just like boom, boom, boom. Here's this, here's this,
don't
here's
give,
this.
Don't give them the time or the reason to.
Well, it's also, I'm going to show you that no matter how funny you think you are, you never thought 7 ways to make this funny.
Yeah, exactly.
And now you have to.
There's no other choice.
You have to watch, man. Yeah. You know? Yeah. It's Shamu.
Comic-tage.
You know, Shamu at first, you know, he comes out, he just does a quick little woo, you know, you get, we can do that. And then he waves, right? And then it's the big shit.
And he
flies.
And he flies.
Exactly,
man.
He defies gravity.
He does trapeze.
You're like flips.
Unbelievable.
Well, I think I'm set. We've discovered a lot of things as far as the different parts of a human being, of a natural inclinations and natural things.
Bro, it's all a human. If you study humans,
all over the place.
It's wild. And that's all I do. I study personalities. I try to figure out, like, nothing surprises me when it comes to certain personalities and things like that. It's like people that get shocked with what Trump does. I'm like, none of it surprises me. None of it. Yeah. Because if you really break down who he is no different than Rachel Dolezal. He's no different from the woman who wasn't there. He's no different from the director from, Fire Guy. They're all the same fucking person.
So we should have a little
Billy
trailer.
McFarlane, all that.
A trailer with Donald Trump putting on orange face. And he's just like,
everybody's putting on face. Palm makeup, orange face. They're all the same person. You know?
Yeah.
Just narcissist. It's
all Lil Tay.
Yeah. It's all Lil Tay, bro. Lil Tay completely.
It's all day.
Yeah.
Lil Tay all day. I like that.
Catch that.
Is there anything you want to plug? Anything you want to say?
It's just at Nick Comic, right?
Yeah.
At Nick Comic,
that's so
man.
good. There's no other comics named Nick.
No. I got lucky to get that, man. Well, I almost got at Nick Guerra, but somebody had that on Twitter.
What?
Yeah, so he gets my compliments every now and then. But when I got at Nick Comic on Twitter, I immediately, as soon as every other platform, I was like, at Nick Comic, as much as I
That's
fucking
good.
did.
It's clean, dude. It's so clean. I love it.
Awesome. Well, thanks for watching this episode of Writers Block Party Podcast at Writers Block Party PRTY. Have a good night.
Yay.